Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Our good friends over at KB Homes poured into a real estate bubble. And what's happening with them right now? Life support, sucking air, throwing stuff overboard, liquidating homes if they can. Unfortunately, they can't because people are doing what, you ask? Well, of course I'm going to tell you. Canceling contracts at rates never seen before. Breaking all the wrong records in this real estate bubble. Congratulations to anybody that stayed centered and surrounded with like-minded people. Iron will sharpen iron. It didn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. Unfortunately, many people are right now being caught off guard, a deer in the headlights. And what's doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? A definition of insanity. Well, KB Homes, I hate to be the ones to tell you, and I know you're just one of many of America's builders that piled in to this bubble at breakneck speed. We've never seen more investor involvement than this. Greed. It all comes down to greed. Be greedy when others are fearful, fearful when others are greedy. Greed swept these markets like a casino climate. It was insane. Insane. So I just was like, hey, I'm an essential worker. I'm supposed to go stimulate the housing market. Okay. And then people normalize that. I'm like, that's not normal. This is a stimulation attempt to hold up the housing market, but they overheated it. It was a runaway train that left the station and it didn't come back. It's now a two-headed monster that's out of the cage. Risen interest rate environment with runaway inflation. So even our good friend Jerome says, I've only got a blunt instrument to fight inflation. It doesn't say it's guaranteed to work. A blunt instrument. We need a precision tool. We need a ninja to come in. There's no saving it now. But here's the challenge for me, and we're going to go ahead and cut to some numbers here in a second from KB Homes that's basically telling you and me this is going to be worse than 2008. Yet I continue to see people out there not as bad as 2008. Really? Really? So let me get this straight. The biggest bubble ever recorded in world history that eclipsed the 2008 bubble in record speed is somehow safe? Doesn't have any chance of being worse? Well, I got some news for you. When you have one of the biggest, if not the biggest builder in the world, KB Homes, signaling with numbers and data that in fact, if we're reading between the lines and looking between the cracks, that's exactly what they're saying. Is this going to be worse than 2008? And for me, no shock. And I know for many of you, no shock. I mean, throw a dart at an economic map, and you're going to hit an issue that's threatening the U.S. economy and the U.S. housing market. And they're tied together. Lose one, lose the other. But the U.S. housing market is the biggest asset class in the world, guaranteed to throw us in to a serious recessionary level of a downturn. And we're already seeing many markets show that behavior. And the rest of them are going to get dragged in because today's bubble is different than yesterday's bubble in terms of contagion. Contagion will be a bigger component in this one. We're much more connected digitally than the last bubble. We didn't have grandmas and toddlers and everybody in town on their smartphones. No, this time we do. So, courtesy of one of you, a subscriber, Timothy, who reached out to us on social media and said, Scott, thank you for what you do. I went through the 2007. I bought in Arizona or some place that's in massive trouble. KB Homes, you're going along for the ride. And he got out in 12. And he's like, I'm on board. I'm not going to do the same thing over expecting a different result. Well, what did investors do in this bubble? They piled in like never seen before. They did the same thing over expecting a different result. Let's cut over to this article, take a quick read, and meet back here. Let's get started. The housing market correction just took a new turn. Brutal. That's the best way to describe KB Homes' fourth quarter, which saw its buyer cancellation rate spike to 68%. That figure dwarfed the publicly traded home builder's 13% cancellation rate from the previous year's period. It also surpassed the industry's peak cancellation rate of 47% during the darkest days of the 2008 era crash. Not a good sign, friends. Let's get back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. So what did you think of that? So basically, if we're reading between the lines and looking between the cracks, KB Homes is saying their cancellation rate of contracts is much worse right now as we speak at the front end of this than it was at the worst point of the 2008 crash. The cancellation rate of contracts for KB is around 70%. In the 2008, at the worst data point you could pull from, it was at 40-something. We're eclipsing it in record speed. Can you imagine what's going to happen in a year from today? As a recession is now ushered in intentionally with our blunt instrument to fight inflation, it's not even a guarantee it will work. And even if it did, it would take years for it to iron out and have some equilibrium return to society, to the economy. Tells me we got a little more work to do. And even if we were to say, okay, Jerome, your blunt instrument raising rates, toying with rates, inching them up, because you're afraid to take them up too quick and spook the markets. They're already spooked. So I guess we're just giving the ultra wealthy a chance to get out of the markets and store their wealth somewhere to prepare for the crash. Because why else wouldn't you just take them up to where they need to go now? The only time it has worked where interest rates have fought inflation is when you raise the federal funds rate over the rate of inflation. We're not even close to there yet. And even if we get there, it's not guaranteed to work because inflation now might be ingrained into the fabric of our economy at such a deep level, it might not even work. We all know this. We're scratching the surface. Many smart people here at the channel. If you're new, please subscribe. Subscribe right away. There's never been a more important time in history to get centered and surrounded with like-minded people. Iron will sharpen iron, my friends. We're going to sharpen iron moving forward. I believe there's amazing buying opportunity. We're already seeing the West Coast getting slammed. And they're on life support. KB Homes, life support. Lennar, life support. D.R. Horton, life support. They all piled into the height of a bubble. Built FOMO factory developments. As far as I can see, they're sitting empty as we speak. These will be foreclosure factories. Next, it would appear. I mean, if we're just trying to be a level-headed realist and acknowledge the elephant in the room, when you have miles and miles of homes sitting empty and you're slashing prices, doing rate buy, you're doing everything you can. Try to get one more sold. And it's not working. Your cancellation rates are eclipsing the 2008 era cancellation rates already at the front end of a recession when we're knee deep. These could be, in fact, foreclosure factory neighborhoods. I'm not ruling this one out. I'm going to continue to heat map, temperature check it every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.